Namaste and good morning to all. Let's start the class with our prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhuvah Swaha, Tatsavitra Vareneyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto Ma Satgamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamya. Om Sehna Bhavatu, Sehna Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karvavahi, Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti 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 Om. You all know that yoga has two branches, Hatha Yoga and the Raj Yoga. Hatha Yoga predominantly starts with the body, and Raj Yoga, mind. And there's a great scripture about Raj Yoga, which is called Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. There's a very important theory in Yoga Sutras, which tells us the 5 planes in which our mind can exist. Some people call these planes as bhumis also. And what are these planes? What are these bhumis? We usually have no idea of these planes. We think that our normal state of mind is good enough. We think that our entire knowledge, perception, clarity depends upon our normal state of mind. Sure, if your state of mind is balanced, calm, well regulated, if you are balanced within yourself, if there's no strong negative conditioning, compulsive habit of mind, sure, that normal state of mind is okay. Because then you will maintain a harmonious, higher state of awareness, and you will feel vitally alive. In other words, you will be intensely aware to the depth of your being. You will see that the prans are also functioning at a very high level. But most of the people, their state of mind is not like that. Our knowledge depends upon the clarity of our mind. Normally, there are a lot of emotions in our mind. And emotions, what do? They deflect our mind. Emotions. Let me give you a story over here, which is often repeated by the wise people. There was a park. In the park, there was a big tree, old big tree. Someone cut that tree overnight and left a stump only. So this is a huge tree, but only the stump was left. Those who were new to the park got confused. In the twilight, the children thought that stump is a ghost. A thief thought it was a policeman. A policeman thought it was a thief. A lover came searching his beloved, thought it was his beloved. Each one saw there was what was predominant in their own mind. So we can draw a very simple conclusion from here. Suppose a person comes over here with no strong thought form, he will see the reality as it is. And we call this person a yogi. We all interpret this world differently, but a yogi sees this world as it is. Because yogi has nothing to obstruct the mind. Mind is like a mirror. If it's clear, we'll see the way it is. But if it's clouded, we'll see according to the color of the cloud. That's why they say the more clear the mind, the better knowledge you will have of anything. Otherwise, you can recite Bhagavad Gita all day long. You can say all the mantras. You can be in the presence of your guru. You can go to any kind of a tirth yatra, but if your mind is not clear, nothing gonna make any difference in your life. So these Yoga Sutras, they give us different levels of mind. We are all capable of. You have heard these terms before, but I just want to elaborate on it in case you have forgotten. The first one is called mood. Mood. Mood mind, like a dull and the listless and a stupid mind. And I wouldn't mind saying, because this wise people, they call this kind of a mind as a donkey mind. Like a gadha. We are capable of that also. But then if we pay attention, we can make it to a next level. Bring it to the kshipt mind. Kshipt is like a highly agitated. A mind which doesn't want to listen. Mind which is unable to stay quiet. That is called a kshipt mind. Kshipta, if you want to write it in English. Kshipt. This is called a monkey mind. So the first one was a donkey mind. The second one is a monkey mind. Sometimes our mind is donkey mind and sometimes it is a monkey mind. Then Rishi Patanjali says, you can have a vikshipta mind also. So if you put VI in front of the kshipta, it becomes a vikshipta. Vikshipta mind is unable to process new information. It is preoccupied with flitting. And this kind of a mind is called a butterfly mind. Want to have a ras from the rasgullas also, and from a ras from the movies also, from the vacations also, from the people also. That is a butterfly mind. So it's up to us. Do we want to have a donkey mind, monkey mind, or a butterfly mind? And most of our life just goes like this. But when we are on a path of yoga, a yogi guru says, make it a ekagrat mind. Ekagrat mind is a calm, attentive, and a controlled mind. That's why we do the concentration, the dharana and the dhyana. For a ekagrat mind. In ekagrat mind, we need to restrain your mind. You got to practice pratyahara also. Let me tell you, at our age now, with our kind of studies now, with the background which we have, it should be our default state right now. Ekagrat mind. If it's not, do more tapasya. That's the reason we do the tapasya. Tapasya is not just to have another badge on our shoulders. Tapasya is outcome of my tapasya is that I have a better restrained mind or not, ekagrat mind or not. Can I use the mind when I want to use it? And can I put it away when I don't need it? Ekagrat mind. But then Rishi Patanjali doesn't stop here. He says the fifth level is Niruddh mind. Niruddh mind is a fully absorbed mind. mastered mind, awakened mind. That is a Niruddha mind. That means a complete mastery. That's why he gave the definition of yoga, yoga chitvritti nirodha. We are all capable of these 5 states. Our experience should be constantly ekagar and niruddha now. Because ekagrat and the niruddha avastha, they give us actual taste of life. Otherwise, we are just moving between the donkey, monkey, and the butterfly. Human life is for fulfillment, for real knowledge and absorption. Only then we will feel the completeness of this human life. Only then we will feel the absolute inner satisfaction in the 4th and the 5th stage. Because that's where the mind is clear. It is non-turbid. It's non-turbulent. It can see really what is at the bottom of the lake. And that's what Rishi Patanjali says in the sutras. You will see who you are. You will have your own knowledge. So that's why you need your own mind to know yourself. And how does this really happen? Lord Krishna, Bhagavad Gita is also a Raj Yoga book, great scripture. Lord Krishna talks about the gunas over there. He says that change the gunas of your mind. When we are deep in satvikta, we can maintain the ekagrata and the niruddhavastha. So remember all the factors which are required to control the mind. This is called mind management. Mind is a tool and we need to learn how to control it. Only then we will experience the higher happiness. High level awareness is equal to getting rid of the low level erratic thoughts. And those are the lower stages, the mood, kashipta, and the vikshipta. When we remove these low level erratic thoughts, we will feel the higher level of vitality also. Higher level of vitality is equal to the greater and greater happiness. See, we want more and more happiness, but this is what we need to do. And that kind of a happiness is actually the function of your own awareness. This is not a function of this flower and this object and this thing or this person, which butterfly is looking for. This is already within us and we can taste it, touch it, be with it all the time. More awareness of your true being, more happy you will be. Otherwise, more clouded the mind. So remember, the state of mind we manufacture determines our experiences in life. Experiences. So we want to experience vitality, we want to experience greater happiness. So we got to have a proper instrument for it. Okay. So just remember, I mean, I'm sure most of you know these terms because we talk about it here and there. But today, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. This is called a Chit Bhumi theory also in yoga. Okay. Chit Bhumi theory. So according to Rishi Patanjali. So again, mood, we don't want to be. Kshipta, Vikshipta, no, we don't want to be tempted with all this glamour of this physical world. We want to do our practice so that we have ekagrata in our mind and ultimately niruddha avastha. Okay, so Now we will start. If anybody has a question, I can take it right now. Otherwise, we will move on to our Avadhuta Gita verses. So we ended our last week's class with verse number 17, chapter number 6, where Dattatreya is saying, indeed, Brahma is free from delusion and depression. So the reason I mentioned about the mind, because we won't be able to experience it unless we have a yogi's mind. This is a yogi's mind. Indeed, Brahma is free from delusion and depression, doubt and distress. If Brahma alone is the indivisible supreme beatitude, how can there be I and mine? It's all one. This is what we need to experience, because this is the reality, but we have forgotten this. But we need this mind as an instrument which has been given to us to get there. Now let's look at number 18. Nanu vidharam vinash iti, nanu bandh vibandh vinash iti, yadi cha ek nirantra sarv shivam, ih dukh vidukh mati cha katham. Nanu means not. That means not even a little bit. Na anu. Dharam is virtue. Vidharam is opposite of that, vice. Vinash is destruction. Iti means thus. Nanu no. Bandh, bondage. Vibandh, freedom. Vinash, destruction. Iti means thus. Yadi means if. Cha means and. Ek, one. Nirantra, eternal. Sarv, all. Shivam, bliss. Ih. Ih means here. Over here it means in the self. Here in the self. Dukh is sorrow. Vidukh, absence of sorrow. Mati, feeling. Cha means and. Katham means how. Truly, the distinctions of merit and demerit, virtue and vice, bondage and freedom are annulled in Brahma. Vinash. It's totally destroyed. If Brahma alone is the indivisible supreme beatitude, how can there be feelings of misery and happiness? Because this misery and happiness, vice and the virtue, bondage and freedom, they're all part of the Prakriti. But if it's only Brahma everywhere, where are these? They're all annulled. Nahi yagik yagye vibhag iti, hutashan vastuhu vibhag iti, yadi cha nirantra sarv shivam vad karam falani bhavanti katham. No means not, he means indeed. Yagyik, yagya. Yagyik means a sacrificer, and yagya is the sacrifice. Vibhag, division. Iti means is, no means not. Hutashan vastu. Those are, vastu means the ingredients, whatever we use to do the yagya. And Hutashan, performer of the fire rites. The priest, Hutashan vastu. Vibhag, division. Iti means thus. Yadi, if. Cha means and. Nirantra, eternal. Sarv, all. Shivam, bliss. Vad, tell. Karam falani, fruits of actions, fruit of labor. Bhavanti would be katham, how. If Brahma, in Brahma, there is no distinction between sacrificer and sacrifice, or between sacrificial fire and oblation. Okay, see, these kind of verses come in the Upanishads also. Everything is Brahma. Whether it's a fire or whether it's an oblation or whether a person who's doing the sacrifice, it's all Brahm. If Brahm alone is the indivisible supreme beatitude, tell me, how can there be any results of action? Because the result of the action is also separate. So he says, where are they? See, this is how Lord Krishna said that with the Gyan, everything is burnt. All karmas are burnt. There's no division left. It's only one supreme beatitude. Nanu shok vishok vimukt iti. Nanu darp vidarp vimukt iti. Yadi cha ek nirantra sarv shivam. Nanu rag virag mati cha katham. Nanu, no, like surely. Shok, sadness. Vishok, cessation of sorrow, like a no sadness. Vimukt, free from. Iti, in this way. Nanu, surely. Darp, pride. Vidarp, absence of pride, which is called humility also. Vidarp. Vimukt, free from. Iti means if. Yadi, if. Cha means and. Ek means one. Nirantar, eternal. Sarv, all. Shivam, bliss. Nanu, not. Rag, attachment or attraction. Virag, non-attachment. Mati, intellect. Cha means and, katham means how. Indeed, Brahm is free from grief and joy. Okay? Because grief and joy, they are part of our emotions. Grief and joy. So indeed, Brahm is free from grief and joy, pride and humility. If Brahm alone is the indivisible supreme beatitude, how can there be any thought of attachment, attraction, or non-attraction? Rag or virag? Nahi moh vimoh vikar iti. Nahi lobh vilobh vikara iti. Yadi cha ek nirantra sarv shivam. He avivek vivek mati cha katham. So the same thought is going through all these verses. It's almost like a beautiful beads strung on a string. Nahi, there is no. Moh, delusion. Vimoh, absence of delusion. Vikar. Vikar is a modification or change. Iti means thus. Nahi, not is. Lobh, greed. Vilobh, absence of greed. Again, vikar means modification. Iti, in this way. Yadi, if. Cha means and. Ek means one. Nirantra, eternal. Sarv, all. Shivam, bliss. He, indeed. Avivek, lack of discrimination, avivek, or thoughtlessness. Vivek is discrimination. And this discrimination is okay, to be able to discriminate between the truth and untruth, between the real and unreal. That discrimination, vivek. Mati, mati is conscious of. Cha means and, katham means how. So he says, delusion or absence of delusion. Or you can say the temptations and infatuations. Greed and delusion cannot perturb or change Brahma. Okay, so all these changes can happen only in the Prakriti part of us, not in the Atma. If Brahma alone is the indivisible supreme beatitude, how can there be any thought of Vivek or absence of Vivek. Because this Vivek and Avivek also is part of our intellect. And intellect is also part of the Prakriti. Okay. So remember that our physical body, our subtle body, our causal body, all of those are part of Prakriti. So Avadhuta ji is telling us that I don't see anything other than a Brahma. Like a deep in the ocean, a person sees only the water. No froth, no bubbles, nothing but water and water alone. Tvam aham hi hant na kadachitapi kul jati vicharam asatyam iti aham eva shiva paramarth iti abhivadanam atra kromi kathama. Tvam means you, aham I, he indeed, hantah, that's also like a indeed or for, na kadachi, never, api, even, kul jati, family or caste, kul or jati, vicharam, idea or thought, asatyam iti, asatyam is untrue, iti, in this way, aham I am, eva, surely, shiva, bliss, paramarth, supreme truth, iti means thus, abhivadanam, prayer, salutation, that's abhivadan. Atra here, karomi, may I do, katham how. He says, look, he's talking to his students right now. Look, you and I have never existed. What we call you and I, like the body awareness, never existed. It is a sheer nonsense to consider oneself as having a family or caste. Truly, I am Brahma, the supreme reality. How can I make salutations to it? If it's only one, if you have absorbed into the Brahma, how can you do the salutations? How can you do the prayers? It's only one. That's why the Bhagat says, I need to keep this duality so that I can pray to my Lord. I can adore my Lord. I can touch the feet of my Guru. Because once you have absorbed, once you have become one, then there's no abhivada, no salutation. And from this state of mind he is talking about. I am Brahma, the supreme reality. How can I make salutations to it? That's why Bhagavad Puran, we see those gopis, the saints, they say, we don't want moksha. We don't want liberation. We want to stay a little away so that we can look at you, we can touch you, we can adore you, we can dance with you, we can take care of you. Because if you become one, then how can we do that? Bhagat wants to stay Bhagat. गुरु शिष्य है विचार विशीर्णा इति उपदेश विचार विशीर्णा इति अहम एव शिव परमार्थः इति अभिवादनम अत्र करोमि कथम. Guru, shishya, disciple, vichar, thought, vishirna, destroyed. Iti means thus, upadesh, teachings, vichar, thought or consideration, vishirna, disappears. Like when it's destroyed, it disappears also. Iti thus, aham I am, ev means really, Shiv, bliss. Paramarth, highest nature, Param Artha. Iti, in this way, Abhivadanam, prayer, salutations. Atra, here, Karomi, may I do, Katham, how. So Avadhuta is saying, discrimination between Guru and disciple, between instruction and reflection, Upadesh and Vichara, are completely absent in Brahma. Truly, I am Brahma, the supreme reality. How can I make salutations to it? Okay. So from these verses, at least, even if we are not there, we can see that what is the effect of all this? Like clearly, he is dissecting the Prakriti and the Purush for us by using these beautiful terms over here. Na hi kalpit deh vibhag iti, na hi kalpit lok vibhag iti, aham ev shivaha parmarth iti abhivadanam atra karomi katham. Na means not, he means is kalpit, imagined. Deh is the body. Vibhag, division, distinction. Iti, in this way. Na means not, he means is kalpit, imagined. Lok, lok means the world or the worlds, realms, different realms. Vibhag, division. Iti, thus, aham ev, I am really. Shiv is the bliss. Paramarth, highest truth. Iti, thus, abhivadanam, prayer, salutations. Atra, here. Karomi, may I do, katham, how. In Brahm, there is no division of physical forms. Okay. See, whenever we see the physical forms of God, that's why we call them either Devatas or we call them Ishwar. There's no different forms of Brahm. In fact, there's no form of Brahm. Okay. So in Brahm, there's no division of physical forms nor of imaginary worlds. Because there are, we say that there's a Swarag, there's a Narak, or there's 7 lower worlds and 7 higher worlds, or we say the 7th heaven also. So those are all the realms which we talk about. Truly, I am Brahma, the supreme reality. How can I make salutations to it? Okay. So in other words, to salute, there got to be 2. This is only 1. Aham Brahmasmi. Sarjaha virajaha na kadachit api. Nanu nirmal nishchal shuddh iti aham ev shivaha paramarth iti abhivadanam atra karomi katham. Sarja. See this word, if you break it down, Sar and Raja, with passion. This Raj means the Rajsikta, passion. So with the passion, Sar means with. Viraja, devoid of passion. So I've been telling you that this scripture is very simple in language, but very deep in thought. Na means not, kadachit, hardly ever. Api means even, nanu, not at all. Nirmal, spotless. Nishchal, unmoved. See, chal means moving. Nishchal, which doesn't move, nishchal. Shuddh, pure. Iti, thus, aham, I am. Ev means really. Shiva, blissful. Paramartha, highest truth. Iti, thus, abhivadanam, prayer, salutations. Atra, here, kromi, I may do. Katham, how. Brahm is completely free from passion and dispassion. Okay. Indeed, it is spotless, immovable, and pure. Why it's immovable? Because if it's everywhere, where can it go? Because a thing can go where it's not. If it's everywhere, how can it move? I am Brahma, the supreme reality. How can I make salutations to it? Nahi deha videha vikalpiti, anritam charitam nahi satyam iti, aham ev shivaha paramarth iti, abhivadanam atra krome katham. Na means not, he means is. Deh body. Videha bodiless. Vikalap imagination. Iti means thus. Anritam untrue. See, rit means true, anrit means untrue. You have heard the ritam cha satyam cha, right? So anritam. Charitam action, na means not, he means is, satyam truth. Iti means thus, aham eva, I am really. Shivaha, blissful, paramarth, highest nature. Iti means thus, abhivadanam, prayer, salutation. Atra here, kromi, I may do, katham how. It is mere fancy to think that Brahma has a body or that it's bodiless. The apparent actions of life are also unreal. Truly, I am Brahma, the supreme reality. How can I make salutations to it? Okay. So unreal doesn't mean it's false. Philosophically, unreal means something which can change with the time. That's unreal. Real is which does not change. In the past, present, and future, something stays the same. That is real. Okay, so in that sense, remember that. Because there's a difference between the Sat, Asat, and Mithya. The last verse of this chapter. Vindati, Vindati, Nahi, Nahi Yatra, Chandaha Lakshanam, Nahi, Nahi Tatra, Rasmagnaha Bhavit Putaha Pralapatihi Tatvam Param Avadhuta. Vindati, Vindati, one finds or one attends. Nahi, Nahi is not, is not. Yatra, where? Chandaha, praise or versification. Chanda. Lakshanam, attributes. Nahi, Nahi is not, is not. Tatra, there. Some means one. Ras means essence. Magan, immersed. Bhavit putaha, becoming pure of thought. Bhav. Pralapati describes Tattvam, truth. Param, supreme. Avadhuta. Avadhuta term means literally one who has shaken off ignorance. Avadhuta. No ignorance, only the reality, only the knowledge, nothing else. So totally shaken it off. Where the ignorance cannot reach, how can there be any form of composition? Chanda. The great Avadhuta, after purifying himself through meditation, becoming absorbed in infinite bliss, has sung spontaneously about Brahma. So whatever he's saying, he says, whatever I talked about spontaneously, I'm just uttering it, whatever I have. See? Because some people might say that why he is repeating it. He says, how can I even make a chand? How can I create a composition? All I see is Brahma everywhere. So this is the end of chapter 6. We have 2 more chapters left, and we will do those in the next few, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So let's do the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Yesterday we were talking about the 4 Mahavakyas, and there was a question that from which Ved those Vakyas are from. So I just wanted to give that information. I didn't have it with me yesterday. So if you want to write it down, Pragyanam Brahma, that is from Rig Veda. Rig Veda Upanishad is Atriya Upanishad. See, I told you there are 4 Veda and 108 Upanishads. They are spread in all those 4 Vedas. So Pragyanam Brahma from Rig Veda Atriya Upanishad. Then the second Mahavakya, Tatatvam Asi, that is from Samved, Chandogya Upanishad. And the third Mahavakya we talked about, Ayam Atma Brahma from Atharva Ved, Mandukya Upanishad. And fourth Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, Yajurved, and Brihid Aryanak Upanishad. Okay, so this is just for your information. We have not done Chandogya Upanishad or Brihid Aryanak Upanishad, but we have done the Mandukya and Atriya Upanishads. So maybe you can go and look up where they are embedded, these Mahavakyas. Okay. So any question before we start the meditation? Because we always end our class with the meditation. This Thursday class. Urmil has a question, looks like. No question? I think Urmil does.
I don't see a hand raised.
I think she's talking. So you can, if you want to stop recording, you can do that, and then she can ask.